it's, it's very chill. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey everyone, welcome to Stay in Touch podcast. This is your host Joseph, and I'm joined today by two of my good friends, Judy and Steven. How are you two doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Steven, why don't you go first? Kind of introduce yourself, what you did today. Think of the subject.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Steven. I'm a former Emory student. I dropped out in around 2018. I was working at a restaurant for about 2 years until a couple of months ago. And in just a couple of days, I'm going to be going off to the Air Force. And today I was hang gliding in Chattanooga. Very fun, first time.
Ooh.
But it was a good experience. Yeah.
Judy?
Hello. What is it? Stay in touch, listeners. Hello. I'm Judy. I graduated from Emory and was in the same class as Steven. I currently am in Maryland right now, job searching and looking for something to do in public health. Oh, today I shopped for kimchi ingredients.
Mm.
I was like carrying a bunch of like radishes and stuff.
You're making your own kimchi?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing it tomorrow.
That's
My mom's gonna
respect.
teach me.
You're becoming a mom. Trying to learn some, pick up some wife material skills.
Basically.
Gotta make yourself more marketable, right?
Oh my gosh, am I not marketable enough?
No, I mean more marketable.
Okay.
I feel like when Koreans make kimchi, they always make in bulk, like a
Yeah.
ridiculous
Bulk
amount.
in
Yeah.
a large plastic bowl on the
Mhm.
floor.
It's supposed to last you like the entire winter. For not just yourself, but like for extended family
Yeah,
members.
could you send that shit out?
Yeah.
Well, quick story about Judy and Steven. So back last fall, about a year ago, I had this like original idea for this podcast, and they were actually the two who kind of helped me come up with this name, and we actually recorded our first show together. But due to many reasons, that show, which was recorded, can't go out in public. So we're here now, a year later, re-recording. So it kind of takes me back full circle, and I'm really excited to have them both. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Judy, what was that experience like? Kind of trying to record a podcast with me not knowing at all what to do, and we're just
I
talking.
mean,
Uh-huh.
yeah, we were just talking. And I think the fact that you were just like, I want to start this podcast and I want you guys to help me was fun. But I think we all didn't know what we were doing. So
Absolutely
that's why
not.
it's not out right now.
I think we need at least one person to know what they're doing. So that would be Chodes for today. But back then it was like we were all just like fish out of water. We had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
I feel like what we did was it was like a regular hangout. It was just us at my living room, but we just had a mic in front of us, and we were just talking while
Yeah, it was
while
just a recorded
talking.
conversation.
Yeah, but that's
That's
kind of
basically it.
yeah. But that's kind of what I was hoping like this podcast would become, right? So even with some of the topics that we might have, um, for us to really just chat and just catch up and stay in touch, right? Because in this like COVID run world, it's becoming harder than ever to kind of do that.
Way to bring it back to the title.
Yes.
Good job.
Like, it comes very naturally because people say like stay in touch, keep in touch a
Yeah,
lot.
for
So
sure.
I remember even talking about like what to make this title
yeah,
with you.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
man. Yeah, when I say stay in touch, it kind of stuck. So it's been kind of going off with that. But with that topic, I don't know, Steve, I wanted to bring up your like transition, right? That you're
Mhm.
having a big weekend / next week you have. You were in Atlanta, were first an Emory student and then a dropout, and then now you're going to the army. So like, how does that feel? How has your thought process changed from when you decided up until now, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, let me just clear something up. I'm going to the Air Force, not
Air
the
Force.
Army. Okay,
My
very
bad.
big difference.
True.
No, but yeah, a lot has changed. Like back then, I really didn't know what I was doing, and and I kind of lacked the goal, you know. But now that I dropped out of school and experienced having to work at a restaurant and pay rent and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of realized now that I had a really good being a student.
Right.
So now my goal is to get back to school, and with that in mind, I feel like I can be more determined, I guess. But yeah, like besides that, like my whole I don't know, not my quality of life, but my outlook, I guess. I have like something to look forward to and like some feeling of progress. I feel like that's really big for me, just like feeling like I'm taking steps forward.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you,
We're all very happy for you, bro.
thank you.
Yeah.
Come
I
back
feel
a
like
changed man. Uh-huh.
mhm,
Judy, go
like
ahead. Uh-huh.
I actually I remember freshman year I hated Steven so much because I don't know. I think I saw like I just didn't understand him and why he was the way he was.
Why?
And also,
How was he the way he
hmm?
was?
I don't want to say like I don't want to offend you,
Say
but
it. Well, let me just,
he just didn't
Judy, I
care. He
appreciate
just
your
didn't care
honesty.
about himself. Like I could tell he didn't really
Mm,
care much about himself or like how he was carrying himself. And I think as a friend looking at that, I was like, I think a lot of people around him were trying to like tell him what to do or like help him out. But I was like, I want him to like figure that out himself. And I hate that he can't. I want to apologize
No,
now.
that's actually very true. I really didn't care about myself. That's a good way to put it.
No,
Um,
but honestly, like seeing you these past like 4 years now, it's been so crazy seeing how much you actually changed
mm,
in a good way.
in past times, Judy has mentioned this. It was more like, oh, she was so lazy. Like, so I like the way you rephrased it. That's good.
So Steven admits to being lazy
I
in
admit to
school.
being lazy. I also admit to not caring about myself too much.
What was the
It kind of went hand in hand.
hmm, what's the most extreme of laziness you've uh experienced in school?
Hmm. It was during quarantine. I was working at Saigon, and I
Mm-hmm.
was living by myself. So like, I would just like come back from work and order Postmates and just sit in my room. And when I realized it is when I moved out of that apartment, and I was having to clean up all my filth. And I was like, man, I was really living like this for a whole last like 2 months. So that was a pretty low point.
Mm.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone kind of needs that turning point, right? When you kind of
for
notice
sure.
and where you self-realize like, oh shit, I've been here all this time. But for sure, progress coming soon, and we'll see Steven in what 5 years, 4 years?
4 years. But you know what? We'll catch up
Yeah,
while I'm in the Air Force, and we'll see how I'm doing.
yeah. We'll record one of these when you're on the base.
Yeah, yeah.
Way
What
fun.
do you get a title or something?
Yes, sir. I'm a computer systems programmer.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Airman first class.
First class.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
No, that's everybody starts out like that.
Okay.
Sounds fancy enough for me.
It sounds fancy enough for people who know nothing about the Air
Exactly.
Force.
I'll just go around saying that. First class. First class.
Judy, how about you? Is anything new happening in your life? Something you've been up to, keeping yourself busy?
Mm, well, I mean, honestly, after college, I thought a bachelor's degree was enough, but obviously it's not.
Uh-huh.
Um, so been job searching, but it's been pretty unsuccessful. So I've been like tutoring on the side and like helping my parents out where I can. And I actually got a chance to go to Korea last month too, to like see my family. It was really sudden, and it was because my grandma's kind of sick, but I got to go, and it was actually really nice just not being in America.
Yeah. You can actually do things in Korea.
But I actually might get a job soon. So
Ooh.
yeah, I'm
What's the
excited.
job? Is it?
It's as a
Uh-huh.
so it's a contact tracer for public health, like tracking down people who test positive and then tracking down people that they've interacted with. So just like trying to stop it. But I don't know how America does it, because like everyone's so concerned about like personal privacy and stuff like that. So
When you say track them down, you mean as in, like in person track down, or you kind of like text them?
no,
like,
no, no. It's
how does
like
that work?
all through like the phone.
Hmm.
So I think like because you go to get tested
Right.
at like a health department or a hospital or something, and then I think contact tracers get information of people who test positive, and then you like are in charge of like calling them and like notifying that they're like, hey, you're positive, and then educating them on next steps, and then like kind of interviewing them to find out who they've interacted with in like the past few weeks, just so that you can kind of gauge. Yeah, I don't really know how it works. I don't even have the job yet, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I'm getting my first ever COVID test tomorrow, so I hope that I don't get a DM from Judy in a week time telling me I'm tested positive.
Are you scared?
Honestly, I'm just kind of curious, because I have been home most of the time. I do go out maybe a couple times a week, but it was just because like, oh, I saw it like and it was free, and I was like, why not? Like, I don't have anything tomorrow, so.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't because like you were in contact with someone or
No,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I mean, it honestly depends on who does the test for you, because they're supposed to shove it up your nose like really far back. But I got one in America, and like the person just kind of like lightly swished it around my nose, so it didn't hurt that much. But when I was in Korea, they literally like took it to my brain, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never felt anything like that before, and it was so painful. But I feel like I don't know how accurate it is.
I think so. I think like
yeah,
it's like medicine, you know, it has to taste bad for it to work. So with COVID testing, it has to hurt for it to be like done properly.
Because I heard, so the one I'm going to is like a drive-in test center. And I heard for those that they actually just give you like a testing kit, and they're watching you outside of the doors, and you like kind of conduct it to yourself, and they give you instructions, some hand signals, stick it up further.
Yeah, I think they're doing that in Georgia as well too. You have to do it yourself. So it's really on the person doing it to themselves to do it properly.
Dang. Judy, you have to get tested right before that role.
I have to get tested. Wait, what?
Like you have to get COVID tested for that contact tracing role position.
No, because the job is remote, so I don't think it really matters.
So when you're tested positive, you can also be a tracer.
Probably not.
Well, we won't know.
I don't know. That's a good question, actually.
I think it'll be kind of ironic, like, hey, or just like you can display some like empathy. I was like, hey, I've been there.
Like, Judy, maybe you should go out and get it just so you can.
Oh no.
Just to tell them, how they're.
Yeah.
Is this like a government position or like a private company?
It's with the county public health department.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, like through a church member, like I was just telling him about how it's been so hard to find a job these days. And then he was like, oh wait, my neighbor is the public health director of our county. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, can I send them my resume? They're like, yeah, just send it over. And then like literally in like a couple of days, the director emailed me and was like, I really liked your resume. I have this position. You should apply.
Nice.
Connections.
Yeah, it's really all about connections. I'm just
Yeah.
realizing more and more.
That's why you go to church. Am I right? No, I'm
True.
kidding.
That's why I use LinkedIn. Am I right?
True.
LinkedIn.
Steven, I also heard that when you're in like what is it, the Air Force or like Army or any of these, right?
Uh-huh.
Places, even throughout training or even when you sleep, that you have to wear a mask. Is that true?
Ooh, I don't know what extent, you know. I really honestly I haven't been looking into like what the experience is gonna be like as much as I should be probably. Um I do know once I get there I have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Mm,
And we'll definitely be wearing masks during like PT, that's physical training, and like
right.
pretty much every time we're like outside. But while we're sleeping, like I really hope not.
Well, if you're sleeping in like quarters, like with bunk beds with next to people, it would make
Yeah, so
sense.
essentially, like the people that you like sleep with will function as like a pod, right? It's
Okay.
like, okay, yeah, maybe this group of people will be exposed if someone gets sick, but at least it'll be limited to that group. So I'm hoping I get to sleep without a mask on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can sleep with a mask on. That'd be pretty tough.
Yeah, I don't think that's okay.
Also, I'm gonna be spending Christmas during training too.
Oh yeah.
Christmas and New Year's.
Dang. Who would
So
have thought?
my brother, yeah, my brother told me for the army they get to go home, but
Uh-huh.
everybody else you just stay for training.
Oh my gosh, I should send me your address when you're there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
Write
send
me
you a
some letters.
package. Yeah.
Wait, I can just text you, right?
No, I can't use my phone.
Wait, just training.
Dude, he's
Yeah, just
like,
during
Okay,
training
just
I
training.
can't use
Okay,
my
okay,
phone.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So in 7 weeks, I'll let you know if I'm still alive or not. If you don't
All
hear
right.
anything,
oh
then
God.
yeah, it's okay though. Honestly, the part of the reason why I was okay with hang gliding today, I got this sick life insurance package. Guess how much? Guess how much I'm worth now? My net value,
How much?
400K. That's how much I'm worth now. That's more than I've ever made in my lifetime.
That's pretty good.
So guys, I'm living life recklessly now.
Oh my gosh.
Hang
I'll probably
gliding.
that's more money than I'll ever be able to pay back my parents alive.
Hey, don't limit yourself. You're only 22.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But realistically, 400K.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
But it's gonna be exciting though. I'm really curious to see how you'll come out.
Mm.
And like
Oh my gosh,
Judy
he's gonna
talked
be like
about.
jacked.
Yeah. Didn't you say you were like physically training, doing some push-ups and pull-ups here and there?
I
How's that going?
was like up until like a couple weeks ago, and then I got
Thanksgiving?
really busy with like
Oh.
well that too, and like I got busy with like saying bye to people, like meeting up with people, and just like I don't know, mentally preparing myself. I definitely had time, but I just kind of like let
Mm-hmm.
it slip. When I was in Thanksgiving, actually, or I went to Texas to visit my brother, and he worked out with me because he's been through the training. So like he kind of like he gave me a taste of basic training, just a small taste.
Dang. Honestly, props, dude. I haven't like ran in months, like 4 or 5 months. Like,
Honestly, the running, I'm not that worried about. I think it'll be okay.
uh-huh.
Um, the push-ups and the sit-ups, I feel like are going to be the hardest part for me.
What's the requirement?
It's it's not that bad. Like it's like 1.2 miles within like 12 minutes or something.
Oh,
Um, 35 push-ups within a minute, and then probably something like 40 or 50 sit-ups within a minute.
35 push-ups in a minute.
Yeah, I mean already I can do that, but like
Uh-huh.
I just basic training itself it's gonna be hard. No matter what, it's gonna
Yeah.
be hard.
But that's the whole point, right? It to be hard,
Yeah.
and you get through it, and
Yeah.
then you're mentally
And
strong.
honestly, more than the physical, it's more about like the mental. They wanna like sort of break you down and turn you into a military man, you know, someone who follows orders, listens well, stuff like that.
Wait, was it the Air Force that like they make you wake up at like 4 a.m.
I think
and
that's
stuff
all
like
of
that?
them.
Oh shoot. And they were like, you only have a minute or two to get ready or
Yeah, you have to
shower
like
or something.
clean clean your bed and arrange everything. It's gonna be fun.
Wow, Steven cleaning his bed in under a minute.
for for anyone who knows Steven, it's a complete opposite version of who he is. Like he's gonna just completely transform.
Yeah, I won't be jacked, but hopefully I'll be a little bit more disciplined and healthy. Not jacked, but I'll be healthy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious. Just as Judy said, it's 4 years of like since freshman year up
Mm.
until now, right? We see like this change, Steven. So we'll see in 4 years from now and 4 years later when you get out. It'll be very interesting. Hopefully, you're making, you've made over $400,000. Are you on track?
by dying or
But it'll be great. What do you think you'll
Yeah.
miss most about Atlanta or Emory?
I think like honestly, it'll just be the people. Besides that, I mean that's like obvious. Obviously, I'm gonna miss my friends and stuff. Um, I'm gonna miss Pastor Sita.
Wow, I have not heard that name in so long.
Oh man, I'm gonna miss it so much. It's a taco restaurant for those who
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, our favorite, the best.
They're so
Uh,
cheap, but so good.
Oh my gosh, and it's just like it's just it needs to be a little ratchet looking, you know. They got
Yes.
they got the Mexican music blaring on the jukebox. You know,
Yep.
it's a
The
little dirty.
authentic experience.
Exactly. I'm also gonna miss trees because in Texas there are hardly any trees.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, it's just flat plains. And
Because why is that?
yeah, it's because it's like I mean I don't know. It's just how the land is there.
Oh, I see.
Isn't it just like desert?
It's not desert. It's plains.
Huh.
But yeah,
So like buffalo? I'll see buffalo outside.
I think we killed them all.
Oh, are they dead now?
Most of them.
Oh shit.
No, those are like further north in like Wyoming and Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
We do have a lot of cattle though.
Okay. Mammoth. Okay, gotcha. Dang. Well, if you just don't know what to talk about anymore. It's like-
We've hit the lull in the conversation. This is where it goes off the tracks.
yeah. But it's good. Like we're all talking. Oh, Steven's chatting.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you're fine. All right, now to a segment with Judy.
Ugh.
How about you? Since you graduated or since you left Atlanta and you visited, like what did you realize you missed the most when you came back to visit in August?
Mm. I mean, I think it's the same. Like people make the place.
I agree.
Yeah. And I definitely really missed my friends. And I mentioned this to you before,
Mhm.
but I just miss because I'm home with my family, my parents, and there's just like, and obviously with Corona, there's just like a limit to what you can do freely. And I miss that life with just like your roommates and your college friends and just
Yeah.
being able to like hit them up whenever and just like walk into their homes like
Yeah.
whenever and stay as long as you like.
Mhm.
I miss that life.
I agree. It's just being able to like live with friends who we're kind of struggling.
Yeah.
Same thing of school. having a similar schedule. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I have one question though, and I'm kind of calling you out. But you said before that, out of all your friends at Emory, you're right now like regularly only talking to one of them, right? And so when you're when you're saying like you miss the people from Emory, right? Why don't you do the reaching out and ask like, hey, how you been? How's quarantine been? To the people you miss so much.
That's such a hard question. But I think it's my own excuse that
Okay.
like I get caught up with other things. And so reaching out to people who aren't like in my vicinity
Right.
just keeps getting pushed off more and more and more
Mm.
to the point where I mean it's something I need to fix too about myself. Like if someone pops in my head, I should immediately just hit them up instead of just like having them pop in my head and being like, oh, I miss them.
Yeah.
And then just letting that fade away.
It definitely becomes harder to hit them up.
Yeah.
I have like home or like friends from back in California, which I moved a long time ago, like maybe over 6 years ago, and they'll pop up in my mind every time, like, oh man, like, we used to be so close. I should definitely hit them up, and it just stops there. It just because at a certain point, it gets like it's been so long where you kind of feel awkward.
Like after not
But
talking to
also,
them for so long.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Go ahead, Judy.
I was gonna say like, because I actually recently reached out to one of my friends that I literally haven't talked to in so long, but I realized people are always down to catch up, like no matter how long it's been.
That's
And
true.
so
That's so true.
I just need to get over that thought that, oh, like they're not gonna, like it's gonna be so awkward or they're not gonna wanna catch up because it's been so long.
You realize like the other person is probably thinking the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's what I tell myself too. Something like when I'm bored, sometimes I'll like be taking a walk outside and I kind of go through my contacts list and just like see, I was like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in a while, and just like FaceTime call just to see if they'll pick up. And if they do, like it's always like a good 30-40 minute chat. We just catch up, and then I'm like, all right, I don't know when I'll call you back, but overall, like we're both really glad that we managed to chat, and it's always like nice kind of getting back and reflecting on those memories, kind of catching up and everything.
See, that's easy for you to do. You
Why?
just like, oh hey, I'll call them right now. Like
Yeah,
for
it's
me,
because
like
you're Joe.
Is that
it's so hard.
I guess. Like the way I texted Judy about this podcast was super, super random. It's probably the last thing she expected
Yeah.
on a Friday.
Hey, but now we're here talking like this, which is so nice.
All it takes is just a message, and now and then all of a sudden you're fucking. I'm sorry, you're filming a podcast.
No, feel free.
I don't know who's gonna watch this.
It's so when I upload podcasts through this platform called Anchor, it gives me the option to kind of click whether it should be an explicit content or like a regular family friendly content. And so far, I think it's only been me who said fuck and shit and other cuss words on the show. So I'm glad you joined me. Because it's supposed to be like
all right.
Yeah. So no worries.
I'm glad to be the first.
Honestly, bro, like it's been like what? An hour since we recorded, or a little. It's been like 30-40 minutes. If people are still listening this much, they probably know us well enough where they're not surprised that we're cussing. So...
People who don't know that I cuss won't be watching this far. So fuck it.
Wait, so Steven, when you went paragliding today and you kind of experienced that thrill, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to experience it again? Do like similar activities, like thrill-seeking activities?
Absolutely.
Yo, let's go on some, dude.
What do
Judy,
you
you wanna
want to do?
Judy, you wanna come along?
Bungee
Of
jumping?
course.
So
That is
I
on my bucket list. Skydiving and bungee jumping. We have to go.
Judy, I'll go skydiving with you again. Let's go.
But yeah, how was that?
It's my certificate up here. I purposely went,
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
but it was it was really, really great, but also kind of scary. Not because of like the
hmm.
height and all, but basically because it's like a tandem skydive. So I'm strapped to an instructor, right? And because they tightened me so tight, and there's like four different straps going across my chest. And obviously when you're falling, like air is shooting straight up your nose and mouth. It was really, really hard to breathe on the way down during free fall, to the point where like 30
Um,
seconds in, I genuinely thought I was gonna like freaking pass out from lack of air. Not because I was like I was enjoying like the fall, like free fall, like that was great, but I just couldn't breathe, right? And so like their training was like, oh, whenever that happens, just like yell as much as you can, let all the
Mm.
air out, and your body will naturally kind of grasp for air. So I did that a couple times, and luckily, before I like passed out, it was like time to pull the thing, and it was like, you know, just kind of gliding across the sky. But I'll definitely go back. It was a great experience, and I recommend it to both of you.
Do you know how high up you went?
On the website, it said 13,000 feet.
Mm.
Dang.
Yeah, it was really high. Like there, like I couldn't really comprehend how high that was.
Yeah.
Um, but like the entire plane ride up until the drop is about like 15-20 minutes, I'll say. And like you're going up and up, and like keep in mind, like the plane ride is like diagonal, right? It's not a straight line because it's a small plane. And so
Oh.
you look out the window and you're like, oh shit, this is pretty high. And you like ask the instructor, and they're like, nah, it's only like a quarter away. And you're like, holy. And you see like it's not like a matter of like, oh, like these cars look really small. It's like, no, you just can't see the cars because that's how high you're up.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Yeah,
you
that must be
drop.
the worst part. Is flying up, the anticipation building.
Yeah. I mean, I was really excited, and I was very like talkative even like the flight up. The only time I was nervous, I would say, was like when we like waddled up to the door, and I looked down, and I was like, oh shit, like it's here. And then but at that point it was like 3 seconds of me being nervous before we jumped, and then after that it was fine.
How was jumping? Like, do they do it for you, or do you do it together? Do they say like three, two, one?
Yeah, he kind of like lets you know, and then you kind of push off together. Yeah.
I went bungee jumping one time,
Hmm.
and like the way I described it was like that moment where you fall off. It's like you're killing yourself. In your head, it's just like, oh, I'm killing myself right now.
Oh.
What a great way to look at the
Actually, like your brain, like it's just like, don't do this. Like
yeah.
you're gonna die. But yeah, that free falling feeling. How long do you think you were falling for? Like you said, like 30 seconds,
The
maybe
free fall
longer.
is a minute, and then the yeah, so free fall for a minute, and then parachute for about 5-6 minutes.
Mm.
Yeah. Judy, you're down?
Yeah, of course.
It's surprisingly like not too expensive either, at least where I went. Like it was the same price as my skydive, as Steven's paragliding today, or hang gliding.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Like I can just imagine that feeling of just free falling being so chaotic, and then the moment the parachute
Yeah.
like comes up and you're just like gliding, it must be so nice. That's what I want to experience.
You want the gliding over
Yeah.
over the falling. In that case, you should try hang gliding or paragliding. No, but the fun part is the falling.
Yeah. Like I
I
really want
mean,
to.
yeah.
It costs like a couple thousand, but I want to get like my own certificate so I can just skydive on my own. Cause
Do
like,
it, yeah,
cause then you can really just like flip around, do whatever the hell you want during like more than a minute if you wanted to, and then or you can just not pull at all, and
Oh,
then no,
goodbye.
have that falling feeling forever.
forever.
You want to, if you want to get paid to do it, you should join the army.
Ooh,
My brother was airborne, so that means he got trained to do it, and he did it. I think at least like 3 or 4 times a year. You have to do it.
Wow.
And you get paid.
Wait, on what occasion does he have to do it?
No, it's just for training. In order to be like certified
Oh.
as an airborne, you have to do it regularly. I don't think he actually ever like put it to use, but
Oh. I was
just
about
in,
to say, that's so cool.
no, just in case.
And they put that on your resume, fallen out of sky
Yeah.
10 times. Like
Professional
a
plane
flyer.
jumper. Yeah.
No, but after I went skydiving, I was like really hyped about these type of activities. So I like Googled some like most thrilling like paid activities, right? And so I'm gonna give a couple examples of like would you rather do this or that,
Okay.
and I want you two to kind of tell me you pick one between the two and kind of give your reasoning, I guess. So one would be there's this thing called volcano sledding. Where you literally climb a volcano made of very small rocks like pebbles. You get like this wooden board and you literally just slide down, but it's very
Mm,
very steep, as you
mm.
can probably imagine. So volcano sledding versus shark, what is it called, what is that?
The Shark Tank.
Yeah, the shark tank, where you're trapped inside a cage underwater, um and you have these like great white sharks swimming around you.
Mm.
Judy, she's just
What the heck? Wait, these are actual jobs?
no, these are like things you can pay for. I'm sure
Oh,
people have,
oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah.
I have
I
my
would
answer.
choose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would choose volcano.
Volcano
Mm.
sledding.
Yeah.
Why not the
I
sharks? Or why a volcano, I guess.
I don't know. I just feel like a volcano is something you don't like. You have to go out of your way to find a volcano, but
Mhm.
like if you just go in the ocean, there'll be sharks. Wait, that reason was
I
so
don't
bad.
think
What
it's
kind of
that
ocean
easy
you
to
going
find
to?
sharks.
But I mean, like, I also just don't like the idea of being underwater.
Mm.
Okay, makes sense.
And sledding down a volcano seems like something, I don't know, just seems cooler than sharks.
Mm. How about you,
I'm gonna
Steve?
go with the sharks.
Okay.
Okay. The first thing I thought of when I heard volcano sledding was that it would probably hurt a lot because you're sliding on rocks and they might be kicking up at you. It's
Mm.
probably gonna be bumpy. So that's the first thing. And then also when you think about it, you could just do the same thing on like a mountain. What makes it cool is that it's a volcano. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But with the sharks thing, like it's not it's a different kind of like thrill. And it's one that I haven't experienced.
Mm.
It's more of like a life or death thing as opposed to like a falling or like extreme sport.
Mm.
It's like I think it's just more cool. Really that's what it comes down to.
Okay, but imagine like snowboarding but fire, lava.
I don't think you're going
How
down
much cooler
lava.
is that?
Did you guys have you seen the video? I saw a video of a shark getting in the cage.
Oh gosh.
New Airbnb experience. It was zero stars.
Got mauled by a shark.
Yeah. No, but going back to that volcano thing, I read a blog about this this person did the volcano sledding and wrote a blog about it. And as you're coming down, you can like use your foot, take it off the board to kind of brake if you wanted to. But he was like, "Oh, my mission," on the very top, because my mission was to go as fast as possible, right? And halfway down, like he was like, "Oh, it was getting too fast," so I put my foot down, and his foot got caught because he was going so fast, and he
Oh
fell,
no.
and like he's this bald dude, he's like fell face first into the volcano, and then the next picture with his bloody head. And he has like blood dripping down his forehead, like into his eyes. It was just like, oh wow, okay, I see.
He had to be bald.
Oh,
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
all right,
I
I
really want
got
to try sand sledding. I
oh,
feel like that would be like a more smoother ride. But keep
I
going.
got to do that.
Oh really?
oh really? Oh, how was that?
Oh,
When
in Jordan?
yeah, because we got to spend like a night in Wadi Rum, which is like fully just a desert.
Mm.
And apparently that's where they filmed Star Wars or something, or like The Martian.
Oh, okay.
It's just like huge like red mountains of sand. Just like sled down them, and it's so smooth and soft. It's like, I think it's more fun than sledding down snow.
Isn't it very windy? Or is it?
Not necessarily. Like,
Okay.
not when I went.
Okay. I feel like all the movie scenes that I've seen of like those sandy deserts is very windy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Dang. Okay, I got one more scenario for you both. So, would you rather go storm chasing, which is you can there are people like who go in vans to track down tornadoes and really hyper, I think they call it hyper thunderstorms or things like that, where you can go close up to storms and take pictures and stuff, or go to a zero gravity experience where you're on a flight, experiencing zero gravity for the first time.
Hmm.
Two very different experiences.
What would you say, Steven?
I'm gonna have to go with the zero gravity because like storm chasing, like it's cool, but zero gravity is like a different sensation, you know? It's
Mm.
like it's like eating a flavor, tasting a flavor that like nobody has ever tasted before. The feeling of like no gravity, like that's
Mm.
really unique. I would love to try that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I would definitely choose zero gravity. Because I feel like with the storm chasing one, it's like, it'd be cool until the storm starts just chasing you.
That's the fun part though.
In the eye of the tornado.
No.
That's the fun part. Where the thrill comes in.
No, I agree with both. I'll go with the zero gravity too. And it's also much more pricey. So given the option, I'll pick the zero gravity.
Just out of value.
Yeah, just out of value as well.
And honestly, you could storm chase on your own.
You could, honestly. I feel like, yeah, it's like there has to be some type of like scientific method of like locating where next storm's gonna be. But if you happen to be in the area
Yeah,
and you hear a tornado, you can drive towards it, right? It's not too
yeah.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing. All right. I think it's kind of going time. So we'll wrap it off with like one thing for both Judy and Steven. So I guess for Steven, um, talk about like what you learned, through your experience of, I don't know. I feel like your like college experience was definitely, very different than most, right? And so I'm sure it was a very learning experience for you too. So kind of what you got out of that and what you want this audience to kind of get out of. Um, and then for Judy, I guess, post college, kind of living life at home, like what you're hoping to achieve, and how like college and maybe perhaps like post college has helped you, with that and your plans towards it, something of that sort. I
Yeah.
don't know if that made sense, but also I'll make Steven. I'll let Steven go first. What Judy thinks on that.
Um, there were, I think, like two main things that I learned about myself. One was a little bit more obvious, is that like I need more discipline,
Mm,
you know, um, and kind of in tandem with that, like I just need to, if I make a mistake, I need to move past it, because I got really hung up on like small mistakes I would make, and they'll kind of snowball.
mm,
But the other thing which I learned, I feel like much later, was that I needed to learn how to ask for help. And Judy was saying like earlier that like I didn't really care about myself, and that really resonated with me because I cared more about like other people and not bothering them. So I wouldn't ask my friends for help, and I wouldn't, talk to my professors and stuff like that because I just didn't want to be a bother. Well, what I started to realize is that to those people who actually care about you, it's not a bother. You know, they want to help you and they want to see you succeed. So, but first, you have to ask for help before you do that. So yeah, I guess those are the two things that I think really would have helped me out in college is like just working past your mistakes and moving past it, and asking for help. Yeah.
Quick question. So if those two pieces of advice, if you had given it to yourself 4 years ago, you think you would have passed college?
Absolutely not. I definitely knew those things already. I had to make the mistakes before I could learn from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Judy?
Dang. I feel like Steven just like I think for me, being in college and definitely ending it on a really weird note
Right.
made me reflect a lot about how I even went through college and like my mindset on like how to move forward, because I came back home in March in the middle of the end of my senior year, and I was like devastated. And I think for like a whole 2 weeks, I was bawling constantly because I was so sad that like that part of my life was over. I literally was mourning that part of my life, I think. Um, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I was working towards graduation. I didn't even get that. But I think that whole mindset of myself was kind of wrong, because if all I was working towards was graduation, then that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, then I realized like, okay, then next, if all I'm working towards is a job, then that's it. And like, it's just going to be the next thing after the next thing after the next thing, where in the end, I'm just chasing after something, some achievement, something that I want, and then kind of flailing to latch onto the next. So I think the biggest thing that I learned was not focusing so much on like a title or like this achievement, but focusing more on the person that I want to become, and like focusing on becoming instead of whatever that faraway idea is. Yeah, so being more present with myself and not chasing after things.
What a deep way to end the podcast.
Yeah. Those questions were kind of loaded. It had to end deep.
Yeah.
We know what you were going for.
Yeah. This is so different from our other podcasts.
Oh god, I
Good,
don't
Joe, you stepped it up. I gotta.
Thank you. With that, thank you so much for listening, everyone. If you haven't already, please make sure to follow this podcast wherever you're listening from. And yeah, and that, actually, before we go, if Judy and Steven, if you want to plug anything, if you want to, I don't know, if you have a new food Instagram page or any new anything you're doing that you want the listeners to kind of tune in if they want to connect with you further, now is the time.
If you're lost in life and don't know what to do, join the Air Force.
Plug the Air Force.
Airforce.com.
Lovely.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Follow me on Instagram if you want, but I don't know if I'll accept your follow.
What's the tag? Give it to the people.
Oh, right. It's my name, Judy Kim, but without the U. So JDYKIM.
Lovely.
She'll only accept the follow if you're cute.
Yes. So if you're cute.
Hey,